Hey babes, welcome to my channel if you are new, and if you're returning, hey, what's up? So today's video is a easy cut crease tutorial for beginners for hooded eyes. Now, thinking about doing a cut crease when you've never done a cut crease before can seem like a lot, it can seem daunting, but it's really not difficult. You will see in the video it's not difficult at all. It just requires patience and practice. What makes this cut crease tutorial in particular really easy is we're only going to be using 2 eyeshadow colors. There is a third eyeshadow color, but that's optional. It's super easy, maximum 3 eyeshadows. So if that sounds like something you guys want to watch, make sure to keep watching, obviously. Okay, so what exactly are hooded eyes? So hooded eyes are basically skin folds that fold onto your eyelid. That sounds so dramatic, but it's not. If I take this brush and I look straight ahead, as you can see, me lifting the skin fold is the hood over my eyes. So that is my hooded eye. The fact that I'm able to do this and like lift the skin, do you know what I'm saying? That is the hood over my eye. So obviously I have hooded eyes. The reason hooded eyes can be slightly tricky is when you're doing your makeup. So you're gonna put product on your eyelid. So this is your eyelid, obviously. You're gonna put product on here, and then every time you look up or you just look straight ahead, the product that you've put on here then transfers. Do you see what I mean? So whatever you put here transfers onto this part of your hood, which nobody wants. Like, that's the reason it can be slightly, I don't want to say problematic, but a little bit tricky, because nobody wants their makeup to transfer. Yeah, it's really not difficult to make it work. You just need a lot of practice. I don't even notice that I have hooded eyes anymore because I've been doing makeup for years. I'm so used to it. But in the beginning, it was a little bit tricky. So what exactly is a cut crease? A cut crease is the style of makeup where you're cutting your crease. You're basically putting a defined line where your crease is with makeup. Yeah. Now, where exactly is your crease? So again, if you tilt your head back, here's my brow bone. You can't see it because there's eyebrow hair over it. Just under the arch of your brow, that's your brow bone. That is the bone where the brow is. So that's your brow bone, and this is your lid. Okay, this is your eyelid, this space over here. So the space between your brow bone and your eyelid is your crease right there. Another way to find your crease is under the brow bone. Be gentle under the brow bone. If you just push that area there, that's the crease. So it's this area right over here. Obviously it's going to be different for everyone, but that's the general way for you to be able to find your crease. Now, a cut crease can be difficult for people who have hooded eyes, because think about it. Now let's say you've cut your crease, then you're done with your makeup, you think everything's cool, but you do this, you look straight ahead, and nobody can see the cut crease where you've cut your crease because there's a hood over it. So that's why it can be like a little bit, that's why it can be a little bit tricky, a little bit difficult, but that's what this tutorial is for. Okay, so we're gonna get started. First thing you want to do is to prime your eyelids. With any eyeshadow look that you do, you want to prime your eyelids, either with an eyeshadow primer or a concealer. Basically what this is going to do is you are muting the color, the pigmentation that you have in your eyelids. Most people have pigmentation in their eyelids, and that's completely fine, nothing wrong with that. But the reason why we mute it is because you want the colors that you put on top to show. Like you want them to come through. Because think about it, if you're trying to put a brown or a pink on top of your naturally brown eyelids, it's not really going to show. So that's why we first prime the lids, so that anything that you put on top shows, like the color, it shows true to color. I'm taking, this is just a flat definer brush. It's just a flat brush to blend that out, and you just want to put an even coat. Now that we've muted the color, you want to go in with a light concealer or a light eyeshadow primer. Again, this is going to help make those colors pop. So I'm taking the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer in the shade C6. And just put a little of this stuff goes a long way. So just put one dot. Okay, so now that that's done, if you are a beginner, set your eyelids. So what does this mean? You're going to take a little bit of powder, preferably a loose powder, and just set your eyes. I'm not going to, because I don't set my eyes anymore. Again, it's because I want the color that I put on my lid to really pop, and setting that doesn't really do it for me, so I don't set. But if you're a beginner, please set your eyes. Also, setting your eyes is going to help you with blending your eyeshadow. So set your eye. You're going to just take whatever powder you use, pour it, take a brush, do this, and then lightly set. Do not put too much. Just lightly set your eyes. It's gonna again help with blending, and that's it. It's just gonna help you with blending the eyeshadow, especially for beginner. I'm gonna make this tutorial really simple. I'm only gonna use a maximum 3 eyeshadows. So honestly, to achieve a cut crease, you don't need a lot. You only need a lot if you're like trying to be that bitch. But if you're learning and it's your first time, you really don't need a lot. 2-3 eyeshadows is really all you need, and you'll see why I say that in a sec. Okay, so firstly, pick whatever shade that you want to go with. I'm going to go with the BYS Berries palette. I was going to go with this, but I've hit pan, so I'm going to go with the shade next to it, the shade right here. So what you want to do, can you focus, is just lightly dip. Lightly dip your brush onto, and then tap off the excess. Just use your whatever finger, whatever, tap off the excess, and then you're gonna go in. You don't want to go, especially for a beginner, you don't want to go in with so much product because you're going to struggle to blend. So go in very lightly. I'm going to put this shade on my crease. Remember, crease? I'm going to put this shade all over my crease, doing windshield wiper motions like this. I like to start in the front. I don't know why, it's just what I do. And then blend it slowly and softly into the crease. Now that I've blended it into the crease, I do bring it up to the brow bone just a bit because I don't know, I like that look. I don't like, not brow bone, eyebrow. I don't like this section of my eyelid, eye space to be blank, so that's why I bring it up there. So now that I've done that, I'm gonna go back in and do the same thing, basically to build color. That's all we're doing, is we're building the color slowly by slowly. And then you just build it to the color that you, or the intensity that you want. Oh, and how I'm holding the brush is towards the end. So you have like a light, it's a very like light feel, as opposed to holding it here. It's, what's the word I'm looking for? It's too hard. That's gonna give you the best blend, and make sure that it's not super like patchy and weird looking. Okay, before I move on, I forgot to mention the brush that I'm using. I'm using it's just a regular fluffy blending brush. This one is from Essence, I believe. It's rubbed off, I don't remember, but I think it's from Essence, and it looks like that. Go with something less dense and more medium size. Yeah, if it's too small, you're gonna be blending forever. Okay, so I'm gonna go back in with the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define, and what you want to do is just take a little bit onto the back of your hand, and the brush that I'm going to use to cut my crease is this little brush right here. So you can see it's flat and it's wide. I like a smaller brush. See the difference between these two? Like they're both flat, but obviously the one is smaller than the other. I prefer the smaller one, especially for a beginner, because you can be a lot more precise with your cut crease, and that's what you kind of want. So you're gonna just take the product. Can you focus maybe? No? No? Okay. Give it a good coat. So that's how much I've put on. For this, either raise your eyebrows so your eyes stretch out so you don't have the hood, or tilt your head back. Whatever you want to do, just make sure you do it so that things are stretched out and you can see the crease. You can see where things need to go. I have determined that my crease is right here. So that's where I'm going to focus the concealer on. I can see the crease. I'm going to take that product, go in the middle of the lid and just drag down, just like that. Where I have started, that's where I know I need to continue on this side and this side, but it's mostly going to be on this side. So now that I've made that demarcation, go ahead and raise your eyebrows, tilt your head, whatever you need to do to stretch that area out. And you're just going to continue. Now we need to move towards the inner of our eye. Some people just drag, and that's fine, you can do that. What I do is patting motions, because I want to be precise. So pat, 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 pat until you get to the inner corner. Do you see that? And then you're going to go back in and make sure it's properly filled in. Okay, so what I'm doing now is just now, while this is all happening, don't drop your eyebrows. What's going to happen is your concealer is going to transfer. We don't want that. So keep your eyebrows raised or keep your head tilted. Now what I'm doing here is I'm now just defining that shape. I'm now creating the shape that I want, still following the general shape of my crease, my natural crease. Now, a lot of people with hooded eyes will want to go directly over their hood, directly over the crease, so they'll put their cut crease somewhere over here. I personally don't like to do that because I don't think it looks good on me. I don't think my eyes look good when the cut crease is all the way over here. But if you feel like you still can't see your hood, do that, bring it up. So what I do is I do bring it up ever so slightly. Okay, so now that I've laid the basis, I can drop my eyes just a little to see where that hood is. I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay, this is a really bright color. I really hope you can see. And I go above the hood. Like I said, with most people, they'll go like over here. I go just above it, just above the hood, so that way nothing's going to transfer, if that makes sense. And this is why I wanted to use a smaller brush, is you can really be super defined. And take your time with this. I like going in patting motions because it makes sure that the line that I'm creating is super straight, super. Now that you've put that down, again, don't drop your eyebrows. I know it's hard, but just don't drop them yet. I'm gonna go in with the second eyeshadow that we're gonna use for today. I'm taking this Essence Royal Party palette, and I'm going to use this shade over here. This shade over here. I'm gonna take this applicator thingy. These for me, everything, they apply product so well, love them. Anyway, so you're just gonna dip into that and lightly press the product on. Don't swipe, because you're just gonna move the concealer. Press the product on section by section. Don't rush, as I said. Like, where are you going? So now the edge of that cut crease, I like to take a flat brush like that, coat the top of the brush, the edge of that brush, and then go in on the edges, just to make sure you don't mess it up. You don't want to end up doing all that work and then you get some powder in this area and it's a mess. So that's why I like to take a flat brush just on the edges to set those edges. Okay, so I just went a little bit over my hood because I wanted to show you guys. It's not super dramatic over here, but you can still see it. So now once you've done the edges, you've set the edges and you know it's not going to transfer. Now we're moving on to the next step. We're going to go in with that same crease color, but now we're going to use our fingers. You want to take the product and place it on the edge. Like that. Do you see how that looks like a completely different color? Girl, love it. You're gonna place it and like just blend it ever so slightly, but you're just gonna place the color there. This is why I say you don't need a lot of eyeshadow to do a cut crease. You can just use the same shade in a different way and it's revolutionary. So now that I've placed that there, I'm now going to blend. I'm going to take a little bit of more of the eyeshadow on my finger and start to blend this inward very, very lightly. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to mesh the two. So you're going to push it in, push it in, push it out until they blend it. So you're just going to do that. So you're going to push in, push out, push in, and you're just meshing the two until it's the blend that you want, until it's as seamless as you would like. So I'm going to take this thin blender brush, then continue blending. And that is pretty much it for a cut crease. You can end it here and this is perfectly fine. Go in with some winged liner or eyeliner and then put on your lashes, and this is a perfectly normal, basic, beginner friendly cut crease. But if you want to just go a step above, take a brush, a super skinny brush like this, and then you're going to go in with a darker color but still in the same family as your crease color, but just darker. So for that I'm going to go in with this shade over here, dip that in, dust off the excess, and what you're going to do is follow the line of the cut crease ever so slightly, and that's just gonna define the line even more. Again, I went in with a little because you know how I feel, you need to build product, don't just go in with a lot. That is just gonna define the cut crease even more. It's gonna look like super professional. So yeah, this step is completely optional. You don't have to do this. The way I left it before is perfectly fine. That is still a cut crease. Your cut crease job is done at that point. But if you just wanna blend that line a little more, because you don't want harsh lines. Harsh lines aren't cute. And voila. Okay, so that is it for this video, guys. I hope this helped you, really, because cut crease is not that difficult at all. It just requires practice and practice and practice, but it really is not difficult. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to give me a thumbs up, comment down below your questions, suggestions, all that good stuff. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on your post notifications so you know every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.